I was driving home from the movies. The children and I, we decided to go and see a movie. And interestingly enough, we don't go to the movies a lot, but I said, "Hey, let's go out to the movies. We're always going to Chuck E. Cheese or the Jump Park or Carnival or something like that locally. But we never go to the movies a lot. So I said, let's go to the movies, and we'll do that more because, it's so important to build these kinds of memories with children, to show that they're in a loving environment, and activities are just important as working, because these memories are going to live with them for the rest of their life, and it's good memories. But what I was thinking when I was driving home, have you ever made the statement to yourself? And I think this is a healthy thing because, we live in an era of the strong delusion. And so, I was thinking, and this has helped me a lot, uh, especially over the last couple of years, as I grow in mature in my walk as well. And the statement goes like this, and it's an important statement or question to ask yourself. Uh, I was delusional to think XYZ123. Now we know we live in the age of the strong delusion, and we know that the Messiah said, "Let no man deceive you." But we seem to uh, be in an environment today where uh, the strong delusion is just running rampant, and I think one of the strongest and most powerful things that you can do is to examine yourself, ask yourself the question, where are you delusional at? Where am I delusional at? And, when you are able to really sit back in the spirit and think logically and take back and take out all of the feelings and emotions, the spirit will tell you where you're delusional at. It's like, uh, a lot of people are realizing today, and I'll give a couple of examples. Uh, People are delusional to think, and people are coming into reality that they're delusional to think that they were going to get on this federal job, get a pension, and retire and live ever after. Uh, People were delusional to think, that's just on the job front. Uh, you got people that were delusional to think that some scam was going to work out, or they were going to get rich quick over some quote unquote opportunity. They were delusional to think. Uh, some people, they were delusional to think that uh, the person that they're with, or a friend, or a family member, or a spouse, supported them or do support them and their goals and aspirations. Uh, they were delusional to think that they were going to be able to pay off this student loan debt, and they were going to graduate and get a job to pay off the student loan debt. See, it's all of these things that we have to really look at ourselves and then examine ourselves to ask our question: where are we delusional at? And one of the key things or ways in which you can assess whether you're delusional in a matter is to look at fruit, to look at patterns, to look at behaviors, to look at facts, data, and statistics. Now, I'm not saying that all things uh, can't be possible. Can a person graduate, go to school, get a good job, good education, be successful, and retire? I mean, there's a percentage of the population, I'm sure, depending on the degree and depending on the field of study, that they can, do this. I'll give another perfect example. I thought a long time ago I was delusional to think that I would be able to take out a 30, 20-year mortgage and pay that thing off and sustain 20 years worth of payments or 30 years worth of payments, but people believe this. So, I encourage people out there, whatever it is that you think, or that you've deluded yourself to believe. And some of these things, they really hit home. They really hit down to the core of the matter, because then you have to want, because this is what happens. Once you accept the fact that you were delusional to think any one of these things, or any one of these scenarios that what could come up in your life, what it allows you to do is to break free of that delusion that you have in your mind. It allows you to walk in the newness of life of that particular scenario, break those chains, and then reevaluate and reposition, and reposition your resources, reposition your thought process, reposition your assets, reposition your focus, reposition your objectives, in order to achieve that goals and those goals and aspirations, and don't no longer waste your time and thinking that something is what it is not. And I think that if a lot more people will self examine, really sit back and self examine, and ask themselves the question, I was delusional to think this, that, or the third regarding yourself, your capability, the capabilities of others. You're going to free your mind, your spirit, from that bondage of that strong delusion. Uh, because you may not be delusional in all areas. You may be delusional in one area right here that can destroy your entire life. Uh, and we have to get rid of all these delusions. And when you do that, you'll become more focused, more free. Uh, you'll stop wasting time beating dead horses. You'll stop uh, thinking things that are no longer realistic, and you'll put yourself in the mind frame of, again, like I said, repositioning yourself, refocusing, and focusing on the things that are focusing on the vision, and leaving other things alone. Because uh, if you don't, I mean, we're just going to be in a world of hurt. Let me tell you, it's it's a it's a beautiful thing to truly free your mind uh, from these strong delusions. Do it. Ask yourself the question, where are you delusional at? Uh, where can you free yourself from so you can walk in the newness of life?